killed as flooding hits Kenya, sweeping away homes and destroying roads, officials say. Kenya, heavy rains and flooding ravaged parts of Kenya on Friday, sweeping away homes and livestock and destroying roads and electric transmission lines, authorities said. At least 2 people were killed and at least 1 was missing. One of the victims died after a house collapsed under heavy rains in the coastal city of Mombasa, police said, while the second was swept away by floods in Meru County in central Kenya. Emergency workers were searching for a third person believed to have drowned in Isiolo, in the country's north. Kenya's meteorological department had earlier warned of above-average rainfall until Monday. Floodwaters may appear in places where it has not rained heavily, especially downstream. Residents are advised to avoid driving through or walking in moving water or open fields and not to shelter under trees and near grilled windows when raining to minimize exposure to lightning strikes, read the alert. In Mombasa, heavy rains caused flash floods which swept away homes and businesses. Videos showed cars submerged in flooded roads, while in the northeast, a major road linking Wajir and Mandera counties was completely cut off, leaving motorists stranded. Dramatic footage also emerged Thursday of a Wildlife Conservancy chopper crew rescuing 8 people who were in a truck that was being swept away by raging floodwaters in Samburu County. Heavy rains were also reported in the neighboring countries of Tanzania and Somalia, where the International Federation of Red Cross and Red Crescent Societies said several homes have been inundated and bridges damaged. Mandera County Deputy Governor Ollie Malim has come under sharp criticism from a section of Kenyans after he lamented about the floods ravaging parts of the county in the wake of increased rainfall. Malim took to social media to share a clip of lorries stuck in a muddy and impassable road, with one of the drivers unable to control a lorry that crashed in the mud. In the post, the deputy governor called for help from the National Drought Management Authority and the Kenya National Highways Authority, saying the floods had wreaked havoc in Mandera County and all roads and links had been cut off. He further asked the Red Cross to intervene and provide relief to the people. Mandera is beyond critical level for floods emergency and disaster declaration, the DG said. However, in an ugly turn of events, his post was met with criticism from a section of Kenyans, who accused counties of not putting into proper use money dispersed to the counties. Ongero Conrad said, "You had 1 year to build water pans that would have harvested all this water that is ravaging now and use it when the droughts and famine come next year." Victor Oria added that Mandera will be crying when drought strikes, yet nothing is done with the water causing floods now. Give it 6 months, we will be lamenting about drought and famine. What is it with us? Why can't we always be ready for these things? The water causing havoc here could change the face of this county. It is all going to waste. Abu Khalid went a notch higher to say that the county cannot account for its allocation. 11.4 billion Kenyan shillings budget for the 2022/23 financial year. Where did it go? Tell the governor to stop embezzling the money meant for development. We ain't here for sympathy. Most parts of Kenya are currently experiencing heavy rains that have rendered roads impassable in several arid and semi-arid areas. United Democratic Movement, UDM, Party leader Senator Ollie Roba has urged the government to upscale disaster response in northern Kenya, where thousands have been displaced by floods in the ongoing rains. Senator Roba said the government was not doing enough because it had underestimated the amount of rains expected after President William Ruto announced that there would be no El Nino. However, Senator Roba, in an interview with Capital FM News on Sunday, voiced his concerns about the significant impact of heavy rains on the northern region, which is worse than the El Nino experienced in 1997. The relentless rains have led to tragic consequences, including the loss of lives, extensive property damage, and significant livestock losses. These effects are particularly devastating in a region where pastoralism is the primary source of livelihood. Some roads have been cut off for days, paralyzing transport to and from the region. The president should reconsider his position on rains after saying no El Nino and upscale the disaster response as northern Kenya is experiencing the worst rains compared to the 1997 El Nino, Senator Roba emphasized. Without swift intervention, the lives and livelihoods of residents in the northern region are at great risk. 3 individuals have already lost their lives in the Elwak area after being swept away by floods. Among the victims are an elderly mother and 2 students who recently completed their Kenya Certificate of Primary Education (KCPE) exams. Governor Ali Malim of Mandera echoed Senator Roba's sentiments, highlighting the dire situation in the region. The heavy rains have rendered major roads in the border county impassable, prompting him to call for the declaration of a flood emergency in the country. As a result of the heavy rains, crucial bridges and road infrastructure have been destroyed, significantly disrupting transportation. Governor Malim emphasized that Mandera County is now facing a severe flood emergency with every bridge and weak link swept away. The ongoing rains have had a widespread impact, affecting more than 12,000 households in Mandera alone. Approximately 4,000 households have been displaced from their homes. Governor Malim noted that livestock is perishing in large numbers, local schools have been submerged, and the rains have disrupted the provision of services in vital local institutions, including hospitals. The destruction of approximately 80% of roads in Mandera County has further compounded the situation, with limited movement and restricted access to essential goods and services in towns and villages across the county. The continuous heavy rains have raised concerns about the outbreak of waterborne diseases, including cholera. In a region where water tables make it challenging to dig deep latrines, this presents a significant health risk. In response to these concerns, Wagers Tarbaj Member of Parliament Hussein Bar urged the public to exercise caution regarding water usage, especially in shallow areas prone to accumulation, which may become breeding grounds for diseases and contamination. Recent incidents have highlighted the dangers posed by the heavy rains. In Wager County, 2 children lost their lives when swept away by the floods. In Samburu County, 8 passengers narrowly escaped a life-threatening situation when their lorry was swept away by the floods but were later rescued in a daring helicopter operation. This challenging situation unfolded despite President Ruto's announcement in October 2022 that the Kenya Meteorological Department had scaled down its El Nino alert, replacing it with expectations of abundant rainfall. The El Nino alert had initially raised concerns about potential property damage and disruption. It's crucial to note that the El Nino phenomenon typically recurs every 3 to 5 years and is characterized by warmer than average sea surface temperatures (SSTs) over the central and eastern equatorial Pacific Ocean. This phenomenon significantly influences global weather patterns, including rainfall in various regions. Director General of the Kenya Meteorological Service, Dr. David Gikungu, had previously issued a warning that El Niño conditions were likely to persist through the October to December season.